This video is brought to you by Ravenscraft Realty of Northeast Missouri. Today, I'm going to use the 4320 for real. I unhooked the disc this morning because I actually am going to be using a different implement in the near future. It rhymes with fertilizer and spreader. Turn my warning lights on because this tractor does have those and they do work. We're going to take off.
It's Saturday the 3rd, I believe. Down here at the bottom next to the levee. Right there. Plant some beans. This is the spot there. Earlier I kind of had to leave this spot, had water in it. Had water just a few days ago actually. See, it's still a little damp on top. I think we'll get through it. It'll dry out better. I'm actually out walking this corn I planted just a week ago yesterday. Super dry out here, but actually some corn up in places. Then you get over here and you dig around, see just laying there, I have to wait for a rain on a lot of it. Probably the same way on these beans. There's going to be some moisture in spots, not in others. Take a rain to bring them up. But this should be the last day of planting for the year. Even though it's been almost 2 weeks since I planted beans. If any consequence other than a little bit of replant. Not same on the corn. It's been 3 weeks in between planting this corn and the corn I planted previously.
I got a little distracted yesterday and never disclosed what I was doing with 4320, but that's okay because I'll be doing it later today. For now, I'm doing important actual farm stuff like running seed down to the bottom for my dad. Actually, he's calling me right now. We're down here in the bottom, right next to the levee, and I've got the seed, and Dad still is in the planter, and we're gonna get filled up here. This is it. This is the last filling up of the season. That is if there's no replant. That standing water over there is actually seep water from the Mississippi River, which is on the other side of that levee. And that is the reason that we didn't plant this ground earlier, because we've really been done for like 2 weeks. We're just waiting on the seep water to get out of here. Dad's gonna finish up the bean planting, and I'm gonna go spread some fertilizer. We got the 4320 on the spreader buggy from MFA, just right down the road from us. It's PTO powered, or the PTO spins the pans here on the back, and it is a contact wheel drive. So this contact wheel and the chains and everything runs this, that pushes the fertilizer out the back and onto the pan. Oh wow, we don't have very much in here at all. Granted, this is a 5.5 acre field, so don't need very much. On the road. Okay, let's do this. Making it, getting something done. All right, spreader's empty and the field was covered and I didn't have a whole lot left, so that means I did some good math. Buggy has been dropped back off in MFA. Awesome. 4320 is parked, and now I need to find something else to do. Well, my planter needs some work before I can do any real planting tomorrow, because I don't think it'll take any longer than 3 hours between leaving the house, going and planting that 5.5 acres, and then coming back. But I've been wrong before, and I will be wrong again.
It just finished up. Didn't run out of seed. Probably got enough for, I don't know, 15 acres left. Seed the butternut's not too bad. Didn't run out of fuel. I may or may not be out of depth, but I guess we'll make it home. Anyway, June 3rd. Probably about the earliest we've been done for several years anyway. It's been one of those years that we're able to get in and go and go and go and go and not really have to stop for much. So now we need a rain, bringing these beans up. Otherwise, it's pretty dry.
Now I'm at the old house. I'm gonna bring the 4020 back over here, but right now I'm a one-man show, so I'm riding the bike back across the road. My methods are unconventional, but it still gets the results that I want. I just collected eggs, and Dad just got back from finishing up the beans in the bottom. So we're done for the year, except for the stuff that I have to do. Okay, so this blade, oh, that one's out too. But this one's definitely out because there's no longer all of the little bearing balls in there. So we gotta fix that. This one we might just be able to tighten up and make it work for tomorrow. Yay, planters. If there's any kinze planter operators out there, please don't run your openers with the bearings out, because this is what happens. Yeah. I'm finding wear points on the planter that I didn't even know exist, like right here on the gauge wheel, the closing wheel stop here. That's about wore through. This up here is about shot. So basically, I think this planter actually wore out. I knew that the front gauge wheels were a little worn, but like, what is this? Really? Like, I'm at a loss for words. It is the next day. Planter is together enough now that, well, it's just gonna have to work. Yeah. Yep, fun times. I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bearings out on my disc openers, and none of the gauge wheels were adjusted right. I think my drawbars, yeah, that's, by the time it sinks in the ground, it'll be level, but I'll do that checking when I get to the field. I got seed dipped out of the 1795, and my boxes are 65% full, so I should have plenty to do this little field down at on MM. So let's go. We made it safely, and I adjusted my depth, so I'm gonna set her down in the ground and hope for the best. I have had not one, but 2 no-till coulters fall off, so I'm gonna have to fix that. Yay.
Chase is out here planting his beans in this hayfield. I think he needs his auto steer recalibrated. Looks like it got kind of wide right there. Actually getting them in the ground. I don't see a whole lot of them laying on top or anything. It's pretty hard, pretty dry. Take a rain to bring these up for sure. But all in all, I'm actually doing it's like a pretty decent job of getting them in the ground and halfway closing the trench back up. There's one. down there somewhere on top of the ground, but not too bad.
I found my other disc opener that fell off. I mean, no-till coulter. Oopsie daisy. I'll just throw this on the platform and it'll be okay. Wrong marker. I just finished my last pass down here. That was like 5.5 or so acres, and nothing super important fell off, just some no-till coulter. That's perfectly normal, right? Everyone does that for planting. But you can see my stripes back here. I couldn't really see anything because of the markers not being able to penetrate the sod, and I just kind of had to make it work. It doesn't look too bad, at least from up on a tractor. The real truth will be revealed once the beans come up, if they come up. Well, it'll take a good rain, to get these out of the ground because there's not much moisture. Once I get up here to the entrance of the field, I'm going to hop off and lock up on my markers and my transport wheels, and I'm going to get on home. Locked up, loaded, ready to go home. I made it back to Grandpa's without incident. Let's do our post-action damage report. That gauge wheel's wore out, or the arm. That one's worn out. That one's worn out. Actually, this one's okay. This one completely wore out. What else? Wore out. Dropped 2 coulters, but that's just a bearing. The cornrows are okay. I don't think there's anything else that's broken. And I really like the Yetter twister closing wheels. They closed a lot better than the other rows. All in all, this afternoon wasn't too bad. I need some more weights for the front of the 4020 because going down the road, I mean, it's a little light on the front end, and if the planter hit a low spot or a pothole, it would drag the tractor off to one side. Can't have that. I'd like the front end to be on the ground at all times. And using the 4320, not an option because of A, the duals, and B, it's a longer tractor. And that planter already takes 40 acres to turn around to begin with, so I'm not going to make that worse. Time for some more pivot action down here in the bottom. And already this morning, busted out the front glass on the skid steer again. Dad thinks a rock came up and chipped it. Got that all cleaned up, and Dad just got the spots where the nitrogen tanks are going to go mowed. Now we're going to go set the tanks. There we are. We got the second tank about ready to set. I'm just here for another set of eyes to watch where things are going. Sometimes when dealing with these nitrogen tanks, you have to get inside of them. It's very humid and nasty. Very echoey. Now we're adding a second valve to draw from so we can pump or suck from either one. And here we are. I still have to kick this nice dent out. The kinze planter project has gone another step too far. I put all the updated style closing wheel tails that have the spring T-handle adjustment, the eccentric and bushing, and I also replaced the gauge wheel stops. And yeah, they were worn. Instead of trying to take the bolts off, I just used the torch. And here's an example of the wear. Yep, pretty worn out. So I got new ones. I'm also putting the Yetter twisters on the back rows because I have some corn to plant today. Okay, so the deal here is that this is at the Palmyra High School, and I was contacted to plant it to corn. Yeah, I know it's kind of late, but it's getting planted. So it's 5.5 acres, and next year, one half's going to be corn, the other half's going to be soybeans, and we're going to take it from being just a free money source, which is what it's been in the past, to actually being a teaching tool, and I'm happy to be a part of it. More 40/20 action. This isn't my plow or my farm. This is some custom work I'm doing for a buddy. We're going to plant some sunflowers here after this aggressive tillage. And I think that this is really fun. I need to buy a plow now. Yeah. Well, I was coming down the driveway and I saw something fishy over here at MFA. I'm just always looking out for everybody in the neighborhood because I hope that their sprayer's not dead, as the morning lights have probably been on since 4 o'clock and it's now 8:30. They should feel lucky to have a nice guy like me for a neighbor. That would probably kill the battery if it ran overnight, if it's not already killed. Well, okay. No problem. Problem solved. I've done my one good thing for the day. I think that's enough for a while. Now I can go back to being a terrible person and a bad farmer and a bad neighbor. Even more 40/20 action. Custom planting some sunflowers for my buddy today. It's going pretty smooth so far. Granted, this is all I've got to do. And there's the sunflower patch, looking pretty good. So that friend that they farm over here, actually I live with his brother as a roommate in college, or I did, he graduated. But he hit me up, said, hey, I know you like playing with your old equipment, so you want to plant some sunflowers for me? And I said, well, of course I do. and we ended up plowing it as well to bury all the grass, and that was a lot of fun. I think I need to find a plow now, you know, for reasons. I've got some of the sunflower seed in the back of my pickup here, and I'm just gonna take it back to their shop. It's just right over there. Chronologically, this clip is a lot later, but I'm still working on the planter for a special custom job tomorrow, and you'll see that in the next video, but it has something to do with the 70/20, so you guys will want to stick around for that. But my planter work has been hindered by little Bonnie here in my lap, who loves attention and loves to be petted, because she's a good little kitty. And her brother is over here somewhere. That's Clyde. Yeah, very original names. Ow, ow, kitten claws. But anyways, I hope that you enjoyed the video, and you will want to be around for the next one. It's going to be fun. So take care. Meow.